Lily's world was a picture of bliss. She had found her forever in Benedict, a man whose laughter lit up her days and whose promises of a bright future made her heart soar. They were the couple everyone admired, the kind of love story people wished to live. Lily, with her soft brown curls cascading just below her shoulders and warm hazel eyes that seemed to hold all her dreams, was the ever-dreaming bride-to-be. She had poured her heart into every wedding detail, down to the last petal in her bouquet. Their love story had begun 3 years earlier, in the most unexpected way. Lily had been volunteering at a local charity event, organising care packages for underprivileged families. Benedict, the new volunteer, had walked in late, his shirt slightly wrinkled, his wavy dark hair slightly dishevelled, and his deep-set blue eyes carrying both charm and a hint of nervousness. His tall, athletic frame filled the doorway as he offered a sheepish smile.
Sorry, I'm late. Traffic was terrible, but I promise I'll make up for it.
And he had. Over the next few weeks, Benedict's dedication and easygoing humour won over not just the charity staff, but Lily as well. Their first real conversation happened while sorting canned goods.
If you keep putting the peas with the corn, you're going to give someone a very strange dinner.
Or maybe I'm just starting a new culinary trend.
That night, Benedict had asked Lily to dinner, and the rest, as they say, was history. Over the years, they built a relationship filled with laughter, shared dreams, and a deep sense of purpose. Lily often marvelled at how perfectly their lives seemed to fit together, like two pieces of a puzzle designed by God himself. But fairy tales don't always unfold the way we imagine. Beneath the surface of Lily's perfect picture, shadows were beginning to form. As the wedding day drew closer, Lily started noticing small changes in Benedict. At first it was subtle, a missed call here, a distracted smile there. She chalked it up to pre-wedding jitters. After all, wasn't every groom nervous before the big day?
He's just stressed. Everything will be perfect soon.
But the subtle shifts soon grew into undeniable cracks. Benedict began cancelling plans, often at the last minute, with vague excuses about work. He seemed distant, as though his mind was elsewhere even when they were together. One evening, after waiting for hours for Benedict to pick her up for their date, Lily's calls went unanswered, and no explanation came. The next day, as she sat by the window, lost in thought, there was a knock at the door. When Lily opened the door and saw Benedict standing there, a rush of emotions flooded her. Relief, frustration, and a tinge of worry she couldn't shake. She stepped onto the balcony, the cool evening air brushing against her skin as she faced him. Lily stood on the balcony, arms crossed, her voice a mix of frustration and concern.
Benedict, you didn't show up. You didn't call, and you didn't answer my calls. What's going on? This isn't like you.
Benedict hesitated, his mind a storm of conflicting emotions. He had been carrying the weight of fears he couldn't explain, memories he didn't want to confront, and doubts that grew louder with each passing day. Deep down, he knew he should tell Lily the truth, but the words felt too heavy, too raw. He hated himself for the pain he could already see in her eyes. Shifting uncomfortably, he dropped his gaze before finally meeting hers. The weight of everything he had been avoiding pressed down on him, making it hard to breathe, but he couldn't tell her. Not yet.
I'm fine, Lily. Just a lot on my plate right now. Don't worry about it.
He forced a smile, faint and fleeting. Lily's expression didn't waver, her concern unwavering. Benedict's voice softened as he rubbed the back of his neck, his words trailing off while his gaze shifted away again.
I promise I'll make it up to you.
Lily wanted to believe him, but late at night when she was alone, doubts crept in. She began to replay every conversation, looking for signs she might have missed. Was there something he wasn't telling her? Could there be someone else? Feeling the weight of her doubts and fears, Lily knew she couldn't bear it alone anymore. The next day, she met her best friend Mabel at their favourite coffee shop, a cosy spot filled with the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the chatter of regulars.
I don't know what's happening with Benedict. He's been so distant lately, cancelling plans, avoiding questions. I'm starting to think there's something he's not telling me.
Lily, have you talked to him about how you're feeling?
I've tried, but he brushes it off. He says it's work, but it doesn't feel right. What if there's someone else?
Listen, I don't know what's going on in his head, but I do know this: you don't deserve to carry this alone. Have you prayed about it?
I have, but I just feel lost. Like I'm walking blindfolded, and I don't know where this is going.
Then let God be your guide. He sees the end from the beginning, Lily, and no matter what happens, I'm here for you.
Mabel's words brought a flicker of comfort, but the doubt still lingered in Lily's heart. She left the coffee shop feeling slightly lighter, though the storm inside her remained. A few days later, as they sat together at dinner, Lily gathered her courage.
Benedict, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be honest with me.
Of course, Lily, what is it?
Is there someone else? Are you seeing someone behind my back?
The words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Benedict's eyes widened in shock, and for a moment he didn't respond.
Lily, no. There's no one else, I promise you that. I've just been dealing with some things. It's not about you. Please believe me.
His denial brought some relief, but his vague explanation left her unconvinced. She wanted to press further, but decided to let it rest for the moment. The wedding day came. Lily stood in her wedding gown, radiant and ready to become Benedict's bride. The chapel was a vision of beauty, filled with fragrant flowers and the soft hum of excited guests. The organist began to play and the murmurs quieted. But as the minutes turned to hours, it became painfully clear Benedict wasn't coming. As Lily stood frozen at the altar, her bridesmaid rushed to her with a phone in hand. A message had come through from Benedict. Lily's trembling hands took the phone, her breath catching as she read.
Lily, I'm so sorry. I can't go through with the wedding. I thought if I ignored my fears, if I focused on us, I could overcome them. But I can't. My parents' marriage was a battleground. They loved each other but fought every day. I remember hiding in my room as a child, listening to the shouting, the slammed doors, the pain. It scarred me, Lily. Even though they're both gone now, their battles haunt me. I wanted to believe we could be different, that our love could erase the past. But as the wedding day approached, I was paralyzed with fear. I couldn't tell you because I thought not talking about it would make it go away. I was wrong. You deserve someone who can give you their whole heart without hesitation. I'm so sorry for not opening up and for hurting you like this. I love you, Lily, but I'm not the man you deserve.
The words hit Lily like a wave, knocking the air out of her lungs. She sank into a chair, the phone slipping from her hands as sobs racked her body. The pain was unbearable, but deep within her heartbreak she began to realize that Benedict's fears had consumed him in a way she hadn't understood. In the days that followed, shame and despair became Lily's constant companions. She felt the weight of everyone's pity, their hushed conversations piercing her heart. Even her home, once her sanctuary, felt suffocating.
The weight of this pain, it's too much to hide. The plans I had made have crumbled away, but your promises, Lord, are here to stay.
One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the room in shadows, Lily sat alone. The silence was deafening. On the table in front of her sat a half-empty bottle of sleeping pills and a glass of water. Next to them was a letter, a final goodbye she had spent hours crafting. Her tears smudged the ink as she poured out her anguish, her feelings of worthlessness, and her belief that she had failed. With trembling hands, she reached for the pills. The weight of despair pressed down on her, suffocating and unrelenting. Just as she unscrewed the cap, a sudden noise jolted her. The sound of the front door opening. She froze. Her mother's voice broke through the fog of despair.
Lily, are you home?
Lily dropped the bottle, the pills scattering across the floor as her mother rushed into the room, her eyes wide with fear and disbelief. Without a word, she knelt beside her daughter, pulling her into a tight embrace and letting her cry in her arms. Later that evening, after Lily had calmed down, her mother gently broke the silence.
Lily, what were you about to do? End your life because a man left you at the altar?
Through tears, Lily's voice trembled with anguish.
Why did this happen, Mom? Why did God bring us together? Why did He make us fall in love, get engaged, plan a wedding, only for this to happen? Why would He let me be humiliated like this?
Her mother's voice was firm yet filled with compassion as she responded, ready to guide Lily back toward hope.
Lily, sometimes God allows things to happen that we don't understand. Maybe He didn't want this union for reasons only He can see. Maybe He was protecting you from something worse. But ending your life will never answer those questions. Trust Him, Lily. He sees what we can't.
Lily sobbed into her mother's shoulder, the pain still raw but now accompanied by a flicker of something she hadn't felt in days: hope. Later that night, Lily knelt beside her bed. Her hands clasped tightly in prayer, she poured out her heart.
Oh Lord, I don't even know what to say. My faith feels so shaky right now, like I'm grasping at something that keeps slipping away. I know your word says to give thanks in all circumstances, but how can I, Lord? How do I give thanks in this pain, in this humiliation, in this darkness? I'm angry, Lord. Yes, I'm angry at you. I don't want to be, but I am. I can't understand why you let this happen. Why did you bring Benedict into my life? Why let me believe we were building a future together only to have it all fall apart? But I know I can't stay angry at you. I know I can't question your plans. I must stop fighting and surrender. I have to thank you, even though it feels impossible. Thank you for protecting me, even when I can't see it. Thank you for being here, even when I feel so alone. This is so hard, Lord. But I choose to trust you. I don't understand the why, but I know you see what I can't. Please, Father, hold me in this storm. Give me the strength to keep going, one step at a time. Heal my heart, Lord. Help me believe again. Thank you for never letting go of me, even when I wanted to let go of myself.
Oh Lord, I'm lost, I'm broken inside. Why did you let my dreams collide? I can't see the path, but I'll trust you still. For the God who sees me knows the way He will. I lift my hands, though my heart is torn. Give me strength, oh Lord, to weather this storm. Strength, oh Lord, to weather this storm.
2 months later, as Lily began piecing herself back together, she received a call. The words on the other end of the line sent a chill down her spine. Benedict was in a car accident, Emmanuel, Benedict's best friend, said softly. He didn't make it. Tears streamed down Lily's face. Her grief now mingled with shock. She could barely comprehend it. Benedict, the man she thought she'd spent her life with, was gone. The pain was overwhelming, but as days turned into weeks, something began to shift. In her quiet moments, Lily began to see the bigger picture. She realized that God had seen what she couldn't. If she and Benedict had married, she would have been a widow within weeks. What felt like rejection had been divine redirection. Months later, Lilly met someone new. His name was Daniel, a kind and steady man who approached life with a calm faith that Lilly found refreshing. Daniel, with his sandy blonde hair and kind brown eyes that seemed to radiate warmth, had a broad-shouldered, grounded presence that made Lilly feel safe. At first, she was hesitant, guarding her heart against more pain. But Daniel's patience and gentle encouragement helped her heal in ways she hadn't thought possible.
Lilly, I'm not asking you to forget your past. I'm just asking for a chance to be part of your future.
8 months after their first date, Lilly and Daniel were married in a simple, beautiful ceremony. It wasn't the grand wedding Lilly had once dreamed of, but it was filled with something far more important: peace and joy. Now, 2 years after being left at the altar, Lily's life was unrecognizable in the best way. She and Daniel were expecting their first children, a set of twins, a boy and a girl. As she rested her hands on her growing belly, Lilly felt a deep gratitude that only comes from walking through the fire and emerging stronger on the other side.
Catch every tear. You healed me inside. Your grace has restored what I thought had died. Now I see the path, and I trust you still. For the God who sees me has shown me his will.
Thank you, God, for everything.